Hey everyone, ready to dive deep? Today we're tackling how to absolutely crush it in your next software testing interview.
We're talking acing those tricky questions, really understanding what hiring managers are after, even how AI can be your secret weapon.
Music to my ears. We've got a gold mine of info from RoleCatcher career guides, interview prep, even some seriously cool AI tools. But before we go there, for anyone brand new to this, what is being a software tester really?
It's like being the quality guardian. Picture this. New app, about to launch. You're the one making sure it's flawless before it hits the App Store.
No pressure then, huh?
Right. But seriously, it's way more than just clicking around. Think strategic. You're designing tests, like predicting problems before they happen, understanding what users need, then explaining it all clearly to the dev team.
Okay, seeing the appeal here. But let's be real, interviews can be scary.
For sure, which is why how you prepare makes all the difference.
And luckily, RoleCatcher gave us 10 classic software tester interview questions. Let's break them down. Starting with a simple one. Tell me about your experience with software testing. Sounds easy, but I bet there's a right way to answer this.
You bet. This is your story time, not just reciting your resume. Don't just say, I tested this. Talk about finding a bug that could have been a disaster, or how you made testing faster so everyone wins.
So impact is key. Proving it's not just finding glitches, it's about the whole user experience. What about those curveball follow-up questions?
Be ready to get specific. They might ask, what testing methods did you use, or how'd you decide what to work on first? Now you get to show off industry knowledge, best practices, all that.
And this is where something like RoleCatcher's AI is a game changer. Yeah, their platform helps you tailor answers for each job, like a personal interview coach.
Exactly. It figures out the keywords, the skills they really want, and helps you sound perfect. But let's hit another common one. What are some of the biggest challenges you faced as a software tester?
Ooh, that feels like a trap. How do you answer honestly without sounding negative?
It's all in how you frame it. Everyone has challenges, right? So focus on what you learned. Tight deadline, limited resources. It shows you can handle pressure, solve problems. Crucial for a tester.
Makes sense. Don't dwell on the problem, highlight the solution. Okay, question 3. How do you approach testing a brand new application? That feels broad. Where do you even start?
That's where you show strategic thinking. Imagine building a house. You don't just nail on the roof, right? Start by explaining the software lifecycle where testing fits at each part.
So, showing there's a method to the madness. What are some key phases you'd mention?
You've got unit testing that's checking each little piece. Then integration testing, making sure those pieces work together. System testing, the whole shebang. Mentioning these proves you're structured, essential for this job.
Like you're painting a picture, showing you get the big picture and the little details. Okay, question 4. Can you explain the difference between functional and non-functional testing? Getting technical now.
We are. But don't let the jargon scare you. This is about nailing the basics. Think of it this way. Functional, does the software do what it should? Like, online shopping cart, can you add stuff in checkout? Non-functional, how well does it do it? How fast the page load? Is the checkout secure?
So one is features, the other's the whole experience.
Exactly. Later on, you might specialize, but knowing these core concepts is huge. Now, on to question 5. How do you prioritize your testing tasks?
That feels very real world. Things get crazy. Knowing what to tackle first is huge.
Huge. Got to manage time, especially with deadlines. This is another spot where RoleCatcher's AI shines. It gives you feedback, makes your answers punchier, more impactful.
So it's not just what you say, but how you say it for algorithms and humans.
Exactly. But to answer about prioritizing, talk strategies. Do you use risk-based testing, focusing on the riskiest parts? Or maybe you prioritize by user impact, the features they use most.
I can see how having a system for that would be so valuable, especially on big, complex projects. All right, let's move on to question 6.
Hit me. This one trips people up. Can you explain the difference between regression testing and retesting?
Okay, I'll bite. Those sound kind of intense, like we're checking if the software needs therapy.
Haha, not quite. Think of smoke testing as that first quick check. Turning on a new gadget, making sure it doesn't, burst into flames, big red flags, that's what you're after.
So if it survives the smoke test, then it's sanity testing time.
Exactly. Sanity testing is more focused, usually after a small change or a bug fix, just making sure those areas still make sense.
So smoke test is the general checkup, sanity test is the follow-up appointment.
I like it. You want to show you get when to use each one, how they both make the software better.
Gotcha. Okay, question 7. How do you ensure your test cases are effective? Quality control on the quality control.
Right. Writing good test cases, that's an art too. A good one is like a detective novel, full of twists, unexpected stuff to really find those hidden flaws.
So how do you prove your test cases are Sherlock-worthy?
Lay out your process. How do you make sure they cover everything? Do you use boundary value analysis? Testing the extremes of what the software should handle.
Thinking outside the box, or in this case, the boundary. What else makes a test case stand out?
Teamwork. Mention how you get others to look at your test cases. Fresh eyes find things you miss. And speaking of fresh eyes, this is where RoleCatcher's AI is golden. It actually analyzes your test cases, gives feedback based on like industry standards AD, what the job wants.
Like having a mentor in your computer. So cool. Okay, question 8. How do you ensure your test environment is set up correctly?
The test environment where the magic happens.
Also, where it can go very wrong if it's not set up right.
100%. Bad test environment, that's a recipe for disaster. Inaccurate results, wasted time, nobody wants that. That's why they ask us, they want to see you get how important a controlled, reliable setup is.
So how do you convince them you're not going to unleash digital chaos?
Details, details, details. Do you have a checklist? Do you write down every single step? What tools are you using to build and configure everything? And the big one, how do you check it's all good before you even start testing?
Sounds like technical skills A&D being super organized, like a surgeon prepping for surgery.
Exactly. You're responsible for that stable foundation. Can't do it without both. All right, ready for question 9?
Hit me.
This one often trips people up. Can you explain the difference between smoke testing and sanity testing?
Okay, I'll admit, those terms sound a bit intense.
Yeah.
Like, are we checking the software for its mental well-being?
Not quite. Think of smoke testing as the initial high-level check. It's like turning on a new gadget for the first time and making sure it doesn't immediately burst into flames. You're looking for any major red flags that would prevent further testing.
So if it survives the smoke test, it's time for sanity testing.
Precisely. Sanity testing is a more focused check on specific functionalities, usually after a minor change or bug fix. You're making sure those areas are still working as expected.
So smoke testing is like the general checkup, and sanity testing is the follow-up appointment.
I like that. You want to convey that you understand when to use each type of testing and how they contribute to the overall quality assurance process.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, we've reached the final question in this epic interview prep gauntlet. How do you ensure your test results are accurate? This one feels high stakes.
It absolutely is. Inaccurate test results can derail an entire project. You want to assure the interviewer that you have a keen eye for detail and a rigorous approach to validating your findings.
So how do you convey that your results are as solid as a rock?
Talk about your process for analyzing the test data. Do you have a system for double-checking your work? Do you use any specific tools or techniques to help you spot patterns or anomalies in the data? And how do you document and report your findings to ensure clarity and transparency?
It's like being a data detective, carefully sifting through the evidence to uncover the truth about the software's performance.
I love that analogy. You're not just reporting numbers, you're telling a story with data, providing actionable insights that the development team can use to improve the software.
Speaking of stories, we've mainly focused on interview prep, but let's not forget about the bigger picture, the career path of a software tester. We've got some great insights from RoleCatcher's Career Guide. What are some of the key takeaways for listeners looking to climb that ladder of success?
First and foremost, a solid foundation in testing methodologies is key. You need to understand the different types of testing, from functional and regression testing to performance and security testing.
It's like having a diverse toolkit, ready to tackle any testing challenge that comes your way. What other skills should aspiring software testers focus on developing as they gain experience?
Communication skills are paramount. You'll be collaborating with developers, project managers, and other stakeholders.
It's not just about understanding the technical stuff, it's about being able to explain it clearly and advocate for quality.
You've got it. And as you move into more senior roles, leadership skills become increasingly important. You might find yourself mentoring junior team members, leading testing projects, or even managing entire teams.
So there's real opportunity for growth and leadership in this field. It's inspiring to see how the role of a software tester can evolve throughout a career.
Absolutely. And speaking of evolution, we can't forget about the role of technology in shaping the future of software testing.
You're talking about artificial intelligence and how it's changing the game, right? We've touched on how RoleCatcher's AI can help with interview prep, But what about its impact on the day-to-day work of a software tester?
It's already making a significant impact. AI-powered tools can automate repetitive tasks, analyze vast amounts of data to identify potential issues, and even assist with test case design and execution.
That's incredible. So instead of replacing software testers, AI is empowering them to be even more effective.
Precisely. AI is like having a superpowered assistant, freeing up software testers to focus on more complex and strategic aspects of the job.
It's an exciting time to be in the field, that's for sure. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's bring it back to the task at hand, conquering that interview. We've covered a lot of ground, but any final words of wisdom for our listeners who are gearing up to face those hiring managers?
Remember, preparation is key. Familiarize yourself with the company. Research the role and practice your answers to common interview questions. And don't be afraid to let your personality shine through.
I love that. Enthusiasm and a genuine passion for software testing can go a long way.
Absolutely. And when you're crafting those answers, think about the value you bring. Highlight your problem-solving skills, your attention to detail, your ability to work independently and as part of a team. These are all qualities that hiring managers are looking for.
It's about showcasing yourself as an asset, someone who can contribute to the success of the team and the quality of the software.
Exactly. And remember, every interview is a learning experience. Even if you don't land the first job you apply for, take the time to reflect on what went well, what could have gone better, and how you can continue to grow and improve your skills.
That's such an important point. It's a journey, not a race. And the more you invest in yourself, the more confident and prepared you'll feel when those opportunities arise.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So go out there, embrace the challenge, and never stop learning.
This deep dive has been incredibly insightful. We've explored the world of software testing, from those nerve-wracking interviews to the exciting career paths that await. We've tackled tough questions, uncovered hidden insights, and even unlocked the power of AI with RoleCatcher.
Remember, a world increasingly reliant on technology needs skilled and passionate software testers like you. So go out there and make amazing software happen.
That's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking those insightful questions that lead to incredible discoveries.